English Sing Sing.
Hello student, welcome to my lesson. This lesson is for 8th grade. The subject is English. This is Giselle Bonilla. So we're going to start with this presentation, guys. The topic for this lesson is my school. I know when you listen my school, you think about a different resource or thing that is into the classroom or structure or the personal that is including everything, guys. So we are going to teach him this important topic. You will see a school personnel, a school building, object of the school, a school vocabulary, comparison object, grammar in context, comparative adjective. So a school personnel is a professional, administrative, technical, and general working in the educational sector, right? The teacher is a person to help of the students in different role, different themes. When the student don't understand some a topic or activity, the teacher help of the student explain step by step, or the teacher is a guide, right? And the principal is a that is a person to whom the head of the company has assigned the task of leading a team with a function or have another responsibility in the whole school, right? An assistant principal that is head of a principal when the principal have a, a lot of work, the assistant head principal. And the coach, right, is a professional sport because when the student practice some activity, the this person help of the student to teach him different training or another activity. This depending of the school because some school do have their subject like that is a physical, right? But have a different sport like soccer or baseball or another. The that's coach training of students. And another is cleaning staff. Cleaning staff, you know, there is person to clean, have clean everything like bathrooms, uh, classrooms, jar, everything. That is important person as a teacher, principal, assistant principal, and the psychology, no all students have a psychology in the school, but this person is a professional, uh, because this person help the student when the student have any problem, they feel blue. This person talk with the student, do different activity to help the student and talk with them. Uh, a student can go with that person of psychology. A school building is classrooms. You know there is a space that the student using for have their class, right? A school yard. That is a space to use for students for rooms, plays, some activities of talk with their classrooms. And the principal office, this is space for this person that working hard. There is a principal is their space. An object of the school, classroom object, blackboard. You know, guys, the blackboard is used for write some example or topic or another another point that the teacher is teach, the teacher can write then or a student, right? And marker is an object for write something. You can write in the board with the marker. Books, this resource is important because a student and teacher read some topic or important thing for acquire knowledge or improve their English or another thing, right? And notebook is resource using for students to write point of the class. And pencil is another resource for write. Desk is used for teacher to put different things on like backpack, a document or another resource, right? Scissor is used for cut some paper. Backpack, this backpack you can save like a scissor, pencil, notebook, book, marker, and pencil case is another resource for save, but it's a say like a more small, like a scissor, este, scissor, pencil, a marker, and calculator is used for to do different activity like when the teacher might left some activity, a student can use for calculator, and pen is another resource to write, right? Object in the library. Computing. So the computer is used for do different exercise or homework, or a student can use for watching different video topic for helping to do of activity, or using for another important in another important point. So document is a list for some themes or important thing that is into the document. The door, the door is when the student into the library, they can open the door. And chair is a student sit when they want to read a book or do another activity. And the table is when the student put a book or do other activity. And dictionary is for find different words in Spanish or English. It's depending of the use that you want to do, right? A school vocabulary. A school, the school including everything like a personal, um, a structure, everything that is including this is the most important structure that exists because it's for education or child. Paperclip. Paperclip is a resort when you have some documents. You can put a paperclip. Students, the students is another important point because the student is the person to receive the class that the teacher has played, right? Sharpener is using for pens, right? Rule is another theme for using for do some activity. A bookcase is when it's resort to using for put some book or have another books that when the student want to read, right? And club is when you see the time. Window, window is that is an object to see the space, the backgrounds, and type is a result for do activities. Eraser is when you have some mistake in your notebook, you can use bell. When the class is finished, the principal took the bell, right? Calendar, you have an important day of the calendar, a compass. This activity is used for the different activity of math, of a subject math, right? Cafeteria. Oh, there is important of the student because the cafeteria the student can buy some food, juice, another another thing like of the student. Stamp. Stamp is when the student do awesome activity the teacher put in their notebook stamp. And paint is when you know the students do some activities and want to paint in your notebook. So right. So guys, this is all my classmate is to continue with this topic. Thank you for paying attention.
So I'm going to continue with comparison object. So what is a comparison object? Comparison object is when you are compare two objects that are something in common, or you are compare an object with another that are something that are similar but are not similar. It's like you compare some characteristic that these objects have in common. So in order to know similarities and difference to compare two pies of cloth. Example, the bookstore is yellow like the math book. What does that mean? What does that mean? So the bookstore, uh, you compare bookstore like the math book. You refer that bookstore is yellow like the math book. You don't say it's the same. You say like. Like is something that are similar. Something are common, but it's not the same. The other is the ruler is a long line marker. So you refer the ruler is long like a marker, but it's not the same. You are compare that are something in common. And the other is the teacher desk is bigger than the of the students. You compare the teacher desk like the students than the student, sorry. So in this you refer the teacher desk is bigger than the of the student. So you compare that the desk and the desk of the student are bigger like the students. So it's not the same. You compare that are something in common. In grammar context, you have to take in account grammar in context, like review of the verb to be affirmative subject plus to be plus complement, and to be negative subject plus to be plus not rest of the sentence. You have to take in account this, uh, all of these grammar in context. Question subject plus to be and plus complement. Okay, let's go to see. These are some example use as verb to be like affirmative, like a negative, like as a question. Okay, example one. This is the library. You see, you use affirmative, and they to be is they are as secretaries. You use to be are and plural and secretaries. He is the principal of the school. And you use here the principal of the school. And you say affirmative something. You are affirm something. He is the best in this classroom. You affirm something that are you affirm that she is the best in the classroom. And the negative. They are not playing in the soccer field. You say okay. You use um to be are in negative not. So you are negative and not. So you have to take in account to be negative. You see subject plus to be not and plus rest of the sentence. So that you have to take in account. And don't worry. So I have problem with the internet, but you have to take in account or you have to waiting when something happen in the internet. You know, sometimes the internet is slow. So continue. A question: was she a word with English subject? You are see you use was. So you are asked was she at work with English subject? You use a question. And was is to be, but in this case in past simple. So let me see comparative adjective. So now we are comparative adjective. Are used to compare difference between the two objects. They modify larger, smaller, faster, high. You see? Say larger, smaller, faster, and high. Between the two objects. Okay, let's go see. Um, wait for the internet slowly. Wait a minute. Um, most of the time pass that when you are teaching something the internet is slow, but don't worry. Mhm. Okay, there are some examples here. Example, this room is nicer than the other one. So you see, this room is nicer than the other one. You compare. No, sorry. This room is nicer than the other one. Yes, you compare with another. The direction is older than my classroom. Okay, the direction is older than my classroom. You say that the direction is older than my classroom. The principal is taller than the secretary. You compare principal and secretary. That you say is taller than the secretary. And so okay, okay. First, sorry, I forget to explain that before the see the example. You have to take in account these these rulers, these rulers or comparative rulers. So you have to take in account that. Um, wait a minute. So it's important when you are compared to object, don't forget the rulers because the rulers is something that you memorize, and when you compare something you have to memorize some specific ruler like one syllable, add er, adjectives, one syllable adjective, add er, two syllable ending um, I and N J, change J to I and add R. Yeah, two syllable ending with I and N. J change J to I and add ER. Two or more syllable use the word more or less. Don't forget that. Um, that you have to take in account when you compare two things. When you compare, you have to take in account that. And that's the example that I explained. So you see, nice, nicer. This room is nicer. You use the er than the other one. The direction is older than my classroom. You see, is older. You use the same er. The principal is taller. You use the same than the secretary. And conclusion, and don't forget when you use a comparative um, adjectives or should object, don't forget taking account the rulers, and also don't forget when you compare two things, it's not the same. It's something in common, but it's not the same. That was explained later. So don't forget that that is one tip for you when you compare two things. And that's it. That's the all. Thank you for paying attention and putting in practice that you are learn. And I hope that you understand the topic.